Hi, I'm Garth Rowe and welcome to Why We Say. Interesting words, phrases, and idioms. Why do we say the Big Apple for New York? Well, it's a mega city. It is the home of the United Nations. It's the financial center of the world. It's called the city that never sleeps. It's the home of Batman when it's called Gotham. It's an incredible place. It wasn't always called New York. It used to be called New Amsterdam back in the 1600s when the Dutch ran the place. Then the English beat the Dutch, and Charles II, the English king at the time, he wanted to give his little brother a birthday present, his little brother, the Duke of York. He said, "What about New Amsterdam?" Duke says, "Okay, that'll do. The name doesn't quite work for me. What about New York? Sounds pretty good." Fast forward to the 1970s. New York is not the place it is now. It was a dirty, stinky, terrible, corrupt place. The garbage workers were on strike, so you can imagine the smell. The police were being investigated for widespread corruption. Remember the movie Serpico with Al Pacino? That was from that time. The mayor then was John Lindsay. And he did some good things for New York, but some schools of thought would say he was possibly the worst mayor the city has ever had. Mayor Lindsay knew things had to change, so he got his tourist board to go and do some research. We need a new name, a new tagline for this city, something that's more uplifting than the city that never sleeps or Gotham. So they did some research and they found the Big Apple. The Big Apple was used by a sports writer in the 1920s called John Fitzgerald. He had a horse racing column, and it was called Around the Big Apple. Now, when he was asked about that, he said that he got the name from visiting New Orleans and hearing a couple of grooms talking to each other after a race. One said to the other, "Where are you going next?" The other one said, "I'm going to the Big Apple. I'm going to New York." At the time, New York had not one, not two, but three racetracks. It had the biggest crowds. It had by far the largest prize money. So it was the place to be. When asked afterwards, after it became quite famous, Fitzgerald said he wasn't sure, but he knew it was something to do with money, success, prizes. He just loved the name, and the name stuck so very well. One other theory, which hasn't been explored in great detail, is that the grooms were talking in horse culture. They were talking about horses. The biggest treat for any horse is going to be getting an apple. So maybe it was just the biggest treat you could possibly have. We'll never know for sure unless we got that groom right here beside me right now, and that's not going to happen. But now we know that thanks to Fitzgerald, we say the Big Apple for New York City. Thanks for your time.